The sun had begun its descent, casting the last rays of daylight across the horizon. The distant mountains, cloaked and thick, gathering dust, gradually shifted to shades of darkening black. With the end of a day's lessons, groups of students exited the academy, chatting animatedly. Today was eye-opening. We learned so much, especially about using the Moonlight GU. One student remarked. And that moonblade flying technique is beyond impressive. Too bad my talent isn't enough. I'll probably end up a support GU master. Never seeing the battlefield, sighed another, clearly disappointed but laughing along with his friends. A few students called out to each other. Let's grab some food and drinks. Who's in? Good idea. Go ahead. I'm heading to the shop next to the GU vault to buy a straw dummy for practice. I'll catch up with you all later, one said, peeling away from the group. Meanwhile, Fang Yuan walked alone toward the GU vault. The academy's vault held a variety of first-rank GU insects, free for students to select at intervals, though additional selections came at a price. For now, Fang Yuan had no plans to cultivate any more GU. He made his way to a small shop nearby, where a handful of students were haggling over the price of straw dummies with the young shopkeeper. A first-rank GU master around 20 years old. Recognizing Fang Yuan, he greeted him warmly. Ah, it's the junior disciple, he called out with a nod while handing a dummy to another student. To Fang Yuan's surprise, it was Xianxia, a young GU master who taught hunters at a nearby inn. Senior brother, Fang Yuan replied, his expression neutral as he nodded back. Xianxia handed over another dummy and turned to Fang Yuan with a smile. Here to buy a straw dummy too? I'll save one for you, only 3 primeval stones. These sell fast, and I've only got 7 left. Wait too long, and there'll be none left. Xianxia's tone was friendly but shrewd. Fang Yuan suppressed a chuckle. Xianxia knows how to play this game, he mused. These dummies, crafted from common grassman GU, cost no more than 1.5 primeval stones to make. Some of the other students overheard Xianxia's comment and protested. Senior brother, that's unfair. We were here first. Yes, business should have rules. Another pulled out the 3 stones Xianxia requested, hurriedly paying and grabbing a dummy. With that, the 7 students each purchased a dummy, leaving the shop satisfied. When they'd left, Xianxia grinned at Fang Yuan, offering a dummy he'd supposedly saved. Actually, I have an 8th one here, saved just for you. Are you interested? Fang Yuan shook his head. I'm just here for moon orchid petals. He placed a single primeval stone on the counter, watching as Xianxia raised an eyebrow and retrieved a small packet from beneath the counter. 10 petals, Xianxia counted, handing the packet over. Feel free to count them yourself. After confirming the contents, Fang Yuan departed. Each GU insect requires constant care, he reminded himself. Cultivating GU is hard. Using GU takes practice. And nurturing them, it demanded knowledge, skill, and resources. The Moonlight GU, one of Fang Yuan's treasured companions, needed moon orchid petals twice a day, 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening. Meanwhile, the wine GU required regular drinks of bamboo wine. His third GU, the spring and autumn cicada, fed on something far more unusual, time itself. Time, which kept the world in motion, flowed in an invisible river alongside every living being. After purchasing his moon orchid petals, Fang Yuan headed to the inn for some bamboo wine. The wine GU could survive on cheaper rice wine, but the amount it needed would draw unwanted attention. Better to spend a bit more and avoid suspicion. At the inn, the innkeeper's assistant greeted him with familiarity. Welcome, young master. Fang Yuan tossed him 3 primeval stones. Bring me a jar of bamboo wine and a few good dishes. Keep the change, and tally up anything left at the end of the month. The assistant hurried off, and soon Fang Yuan was seated with his meal and wine, contemplating his expenses. A single primeval stone buys 10 moon orchid petals. The Moonlight GU consumes 4 a day, while the wine goose daily needs equal 2 stones worth every 4 days. His expenses, though high, were inevitable. A family of 3 mortals lived on 1 primeval stone a month. Yet he burned through nearly 1 a day. Since beginning his cultivation, Fang Yuan had spent close to 14 stones in just 16 days. I once had 44 stones, he recalled, tallying up his previous gains and expenses. Now, I'm down to 20. Without a steady income, he'd only be able to last half a month at most. Unlike some of his peers who could count on family support, Fang Yuan had no such luxury. His only option was to rely on his monthly academy stipend of 3 stones and his personal wit. In 3 days, there's the monthly Moonblade examination. He mused as he ate, planning his strategy to earn the 10-stone reward. After he'd finished his meal, Fang Yuan left, carrying an unopened jar of bamboo wine for his wine GU. Master, the assistant caught up with him. I almost forgot. Next month, a merchant caravan is stopping by. They'll be buying up our bamboo wine. And our supply is limited. Since you come by often, the manager wanted to give you a heads up. Fang Yuan nodded thoughtfully. He needed a reliable supply for the Winegoo's long-term survival. If they sold out, he'd be forced to buy cheaper wines in greater quantities, which would only invite suspicion. Fine, I'll take 5 jars. Follow me and bring them to my quarters, he instructed, handing over 10 stones. Once settled, he counted the stones left in his pouch and sighed. GU cultivation was relentless. Although his experience spared him from costly training, the cost of nurturing his insects weighed heavily. Thankfully, the spring and autumn cicada consumes time rather than rare resources. He reflected with a smirk. If it demanded food as well, he would have gone broke long ago. Higher-ranked GU required rare or costly sustenance, some even impossible to find on the market. But Fang Yuan, a former master of 500 years, knew that truly valuable resources could never be bought. As he glanced around his modest quarters, his mind wandered back to a saying among GU masters. Nurturing GU is like keeping lovers. Each one required care, attention, and resources. For Fang Yuan, this was a familiar struggle, but it was one he relished, knowing that his path to power lay in the trials of cultivation. 3 days later, a low dodge is a common technique to counter incoming punches. When your enemy strikes, lower yourself quickly and counterattack, targeting their lower body and abdomen. There's no need to fear a punch. Anyone who opens with fists usually lacks both brains and self-control. On the training grounds, the academy's martial instructor demonstrated his moves while speaking. A wooden dummy swung its right fist in a wide arc, but the instructor ducked, evading the attack before landing a rapid flurry of blows to its stomach. Within moments, the wooden figure was thoroughly defeated. Crumbling under his strikes, the students formed a loose circle around him, watching with disinterest. Although the instructor taught basic fist techniques, most students couldn't muster much enthusiasm. After all, how could these basic moves compare to the powerful and flashy moonblades they were set to practice in the upcoming Moonlight GU assessment? Many were already distracted, their minds elsewhere. Think you're ready for the assessment? Been practicing? One asked another. I can manage 3 moonblades, but only hit the target a few times, mostly by luck. He replied with a sigh. Same here, I even bought a straw dummy to practice on. The students murmured to one another, their minds fully on the assessment after class. The instructor's keen ears picked up their whispers, and he spun around, barking, silence, focus on what I'm teaching here. He was a second-ranked GU master with a muscular, scar-covered physique. His stern gaze and booming voice instantly commanded attention, silencing the young disciples. Basic fist techniques are crucial, especially for a GU master in the early stages of cultivation. Pay attention. After the brief reprimand, he approached another training dummy. This one, made of pale yellow wood, stood nearly 2 meters tall, with solid legs that struck the stone floor with every step. It awkwardly swung its wooden arms, charging at the instructor, who sidestepped the attack and quickly grappled it by the waist. With a firm push, he toppled it to the ground, then mounted the dummy and began raining punches upon its head, each blow a resounding thud. After a brief struggle, the dummy lay motionless, its head battered. The instructor rose, his breathing steady, and addressed the students. When facing a larger enemy, focus on destabilizing their core. As I demonstrated, grab the waist and control the hips. Then push forward. Afterward, you can mount them and strike effectively. An opponent caught off guard will be defeated instantly. Most students nodded, though with little interest. Observing their disinterest, the instructor sighed internally. Youths often preferred grand displays of power over mastering fundamentals. They couldn't yet see the importance of basic techniques. The instructor continued, "Remember, in close combat, don't focus on your opponent's eyes. Watch their shoulders instead. Their shoulders always telegraph their moves before any strike. Speed is crucial here, but not just hand speed, footwork is key. Distance is the best defense. Keep your stance loose and flexible to release power easily." As he demonstrated, he spoke with a patience earned through years of bloody battles. But the young students' minds drifted back to the upcoming Moonblade test. Among them, Fang Yuan watched quietly, analyzing the instructor's teaching style. His content is valuable, he thought, but the delivery lacks focus. Many students had initially paid close attention, only to lose interest and drift back to their conversations. Only Fang Yuan, with experience beyond his years, remained attentive. "Other students are learning," he noted, "but I'm simply reviewing." His wealth of battle knowledge exceeded that of the instructor. But listening served as a valuable refresher. A GU master's combat often fell into two categories: close range and distance attacks. Moonblades, while powerful, could only reach about 10 meters, classifying them as mid-range at best. For close combat, the instructor served as an ideal example. Close combat GU masters typically cultivated insects that amplified their strength, agility, and resilience. The instructor's bronze-tinted skin, for instance, came from the copper-skinned GU, boosting his defense to endure physical punishment that would cripple ordinary men. One moonblade consumes a tenth of one's primeval essence, Fang Yuan noted, analyzing the test. How many times can a novice cast the moonblade? For beginners, the answer is, not many, making it more of a finishing move than a sustained offense. Basic martial skills, however, are consistent and reliable. As he surveyed the young faces around him, a faint smile played on Fang Yuan's lips, both amused and pitying. Most of his peers were distracted by the allure of their moonblades, ignorant of the true demands of cultivation. Finally, the lesson concluded, and the students gathered excitedly as the academy elder arrived, gesturing toward a row of straw dummies against the wall. "Today's assessment begins now," he announced. "Groups of 5 will come forward in turn, each releasing 3 moonblades at your target." The first group stepped up, and moonblades whirled through the air. After 3 rounds, only 9 of their attacks struck the targets, disappointing the elder. "Practice more," he scolded 2 students in particular. "Especially you, and you as well." With a wave of his hand, he called, "Next group." Among the students, a girl's eyes reddened slightly. With a grade C talent, her primeval essence recovered slowly, limiting her training. Many of her peers faced similar constraints, struggling to afford resources. Some, like the girl, had already resigned themselves to mediocrity. Why not save the stones and give up on top rank, she thought, her heart heavy yet accepting. Many others shared this sentiment, and few showed anything beyond average performance. Observing their lackluster efforts, the elder's brows furrowed in displeasure. Fang Yuan sighed inwardly. Watching, such a waste, he thought. Those who hoard primeval stones without investing in themselves are no different from misers. Stones are meant to be used. What's the point of saving them if you never grow? Only those with a narrow perspective cling to their resources at the cost of their potential. He mused. True cultivators knew when to hold back and when to move forward. At last, it was Fang Yuan's turn. With a confident smile, Gu Mo Bei strode forward, muscles rippling as he prepared his stance. With a sweep of his hand, he released 3 moonblades, each striking its mark. 2 hit the chest of his dummy, while 1 severed its left arm, scattering bits of straw to the ground. His achievement earned the admiration of his peers and a slight nod from the elder. Next was Gu Kai Cheng, a smaller figure with a pockmarked face, who managed 3 moonblades as well, all hitting the chest of his dummy with precision. Although the cuts healed quickly, his performance matched Mo Bei's, drawing praise from the elder. With a smug look, Kai Cheng glanced over at Mo Bei, who ignored him, his gaze instead resting on Gu Fang Zheng, still waiting for his turn. Mo Bei knew well enough who his real competition was. Kai Cheng might share his grade B aptitude and steady supply of primeval stones. But Fang Zheng, with his greater talent, could recover essence more quickly. Fang Zheng needed no family wealth, his natural talent allowed for relentless practice. Finally, when most of the other groups had finished, it was Fang Zheng's turn. Is that Fang Yuan or Fang Zheng? Some students whispered, still unable to distinguish the twin brothers. It's Fang Zheng. Fang Yuan always has that cold, unruffled expression. You'd never catch him looking nervous. One replied. Well, this should be worth watching. Fang Zheng is the only graded talent our village has seen in 3 years. Excitement rippled through the crowd as they turned to watch. Fang Zheng could feel the weight of their gaze, the mounting pressure causing his fingers to tremble slightly. He released his first moonblade, aiming for the dummy's chest. But in his nervousness, the attack veered off, slicing into the dummy's neck instead. The students gasped in surprise. They assumed Fang Zheng was aiming purposefully for the neck, a more challenging target than the chest, a show of absolute confidence in his technique. Their anticipation grew. Jiu Mo Bei and Jiu Kai Cheng, however, saw through the misstep, as did the academy elder and Fang Yuan. Close call, Fang Zheng thought, breathing a silent sigh of relief as he forced himself to calm down. Taking a deep breath, he released 2 more moonblades, both of which struck the dummy's chest cleanly. The academy elder nodded approvingly, and Mo Bei and Kai Cheng relaxed slightly, realizing Fang Zheng's score now matched theirs. The students murmured, slightly disappointed that Fang Zheng's subsequent attacks hadn't been as flashy. The next few groups passed without incident, none performing better than Mo Bei, Kai Cheng, or Fang Zheng. It seems the top spot will go to one of those 3. Someone speculated. Yeah, all 3 hit the target. Wonder who the elder will favor. Wait, the last group is up, Fang Yuan's turn. Oh, the cold genius, with a grade C talent? Ha, a few snickered. Finally, as the last group stepped up, Fang Yuan entered the ring, his expression as calm as ever. Is it really that Fang Yuan? Mo Bei glanced up at him before looking away. Disinterested. Last time, you just got lucky, picking a moonlight GU with a weak will. Let's see how you fared today. Kai Cheng muttered, fists clenched, eager for Fang Yuan to fail. Hidden in the crowd, Fang Zheng tightened his grip. Brother, this time will be different. I've trained hard, I'm sure I can outshine you this time. Ever since he'd come second in the last life-bonded GU cultivation exam, losing due to Fang Yuan's so-called luck, he'd felt a restless determination to surpass his brother. All eyes were on Fang Yuan, including the academy elders. Fang Yuan, ever composed, channeled his primeval essence into his moonlight GU and launched his first moonblade. The blade soared high, flying over the dummy's head and even above the bamboo walls, disappearing into the air 15 meters away before fading. Someone snickered. Well, that was way off, a mocking voice called out. Yeah, and they call him a genius. Hardly impressive, someone else jeered. In years past, Fang Yuan's intelligence had earned him resentment, and his recent success in cultivating his GU had only fueled their envy. Now, many were just waiting to see him fall, and this first miss seemed to confirm their expectations. The academy elder shook his head, chuckling quietly to himself. Why did I expect anything different? Fang Yuan was just a grade C talent who'd managed to claim the top spot last time through a stroke of luck. In the elder's mind, the first place spot would surely go to Fang Zheng. After all, backing Fang Zheng, a great talent and ally of the clan chief, felt like a safer choice. A warm spring breeze carried the faint scent of blooming flowers across the training ground. Sunlight fell upon Fang Yuan, casting a lone shadow on the ground. His expression remained unchanged as he stared calmly at the straw dummy over 10 meters away, the faint blue glow of his moonblade shimmering in his palm. He'd missed on purpose with the first blade. Now, he had only 2 chances left. He knew the academy elder's inclination, and if he wanted to secure first place, these next 2 attacks had to make a lasting impression. Only 2 chances left. Brother, Fang Zheng muttered, his gaze fixed unwaveringly on Fang Yuan. A lifetime of living in his brother's shadow had culminated in this moment of near victory. This time, the win is mine, he thought, hands clenched, nearly trembling with excitement. But just then, Fang Yuan struck. With a sharp, fluid motion, His right hand sliced through the air, releasing a second moon blade that curved gracefully towards the dummy. And barely a heartbeat later, he followed with a third blade, each attack smooth and precise. Like water flowing downstream, the two moon blades flew in close succession, less than half a meter apart, streaking towards the dummy. Under the astonished gaze of everyone watching, both moon blades found their mark, slicing cleanly into the dummy's neck. Fang Zheng's eyes widened as he watched, a sinking feeling gripping him. His heart sank as he saw the dummy's head tilt to one side, then tumbled to the ground, rolling several feet before coming to a stop. Fang Yuan had decapitated the dummy. For a moment, everyone fell silent, taken aback. Was that luck, or skill? The academy elder murmured, frowning slightly, mirroring the confusion shared by the other students. Fang Zheng stood frozen, disbelief filling his gaze as he stared at his brother. His excitement crumbled, replaced by a hollow despair. Fang Yuan, unfazed by the looks from everyone around him, appeared lost in thought as he gazed upward. Overhead, a flock of vibrant parrots took flight, their long, colorful tails trailing through the blue sky as they called out, circling joyfully above, bathed in the bright sunlight. Their feathers shimmered with brilliant colors. Fang Yuan looked on with a detached calmness, as if the recent feat had been nothing at all. How beautiful the spring sunlight is, he mused quietly. As dusk approached, the sky glowed a blood-red hue as the sun dipped below the horizon. The academy's hall was bathed in the evening light, casting long shadows across the room where over 50 students sat in neat rows. At the front, the elder read out names, distributing the weekly allowance. This weekly stipend, given out by the academy, was meant to support the students, lightening the financial burden of cultivating and feeding their GU insects. GU Fang Yuan, the elder called. Fang Yuan rose from his seat by the window, the last row, and approached the front to collect his two small pouches. One held the 3 primeval stones from the clan's stipend, the other contained 10 stones. His reward for excellence. Keep up the hard work, the elder remarked, his gaze lingering on Fang Yuan. This marked his second consecutive first-place finish, a feat that had begun to pique the elder's curiosity despite previous disappointments. Fang Yuan nodded, slipping the pouches into his robe before returning to his seat. Damn it, he took first place again. Gu Mo Bei glared, his frustration evident. 2 moon blades to the neck of the dummy. Was it luck again, or does he truly have skill? Kai Cheng narrowed his eyes, plagued by doubt since the assessment ended. He wasn't the only one. Many of the students' glances drifted toward Fang Yuan, curious yet unwilling to admit defeat. Just as the session was drawing to a close, the academy elder made an announcement. You've all had time to become familiar with your life-bonded GU. From now on, I'll be instructing you on cultivating your primeval apertures and raising your cultivation realms. The higher a GU master's realm, the denser their primeval essence. A first-ranked GU master has bronze primeval essence, a second rank has iron, and a third rank has silver essence. Each rank's essence is 10 times more potent than the last. Remember this well, he continued, his tone grave. Your GU insects are mere tools. True strength lies in your cultivation. The higher your cultivation, the more powerful GU you can command. In 3 months, whoever advances to the mid-stage of the first rank will receive a reward of 30 primeval stones and priority in selecting a second GU insect. We'll also select a class leader and 2 deputies based on your progress. The leader will receive a stipend of 10 stones, while each deputy will receive 5. The elder's words sparked a ripple of excitement among the students. Class leader and deputies. Finally, the leader gets 10 stones every 7 days. And even the deputies get 5. If I'm the first to reach mid-stage, I'll be class leader for sure. Eyes shone with ambition. It's not just about the stones, it's the prestige that matters. The title alone will set us above the rest. Ordinary students will bow their heads in respect when they see the class leader. Even Gu Mo Bei and Kai Cheng, who weren't lacking in stones, were drawn to the glory of the title. Becoming class leader, yes, that's what I need, Fang Zheng muttered to himself, glancing instinctively over to his brother's seat, only to find it empty. Fang Yuan had already left, slipping out as the session ended. Where did Fang Yuan go? Mo Bei grumbled, annoyed that he couldn't confront him. HMPH. Fleeing already? Clearly. He's afraid. Just another stroke of dumb luck in today's test. Kai Cheng sneered. Forget it. Just a 10-stone reward anyway. The real focus now is advancing to mid-stage and claiming the class leader position. Mo Bei's gaze shifted to Kai Cheng and Fang Zheng. They were his real competitors. As for Fang Yuan, with his grade C talent, he was hardly worth considering. The last 2 times, Fang Yuan lucked out in taking first place. But this upcoming assessment? Only cultivation talent matters, and those with higher aptitudes have a natural advantage. Kai Cheng clenched his fists, feeling the pressure mounting. His true talent was only grade C, but he deceived others into believing it was grade B. Meanwhile, leaning against the academy's main gate, Fang Yuan smirked, watching the students disperse. These titles they fight over, the so-called glory of a class leader or deputy, are nothing more than tools to motivate subordinates. Distractions created by those in power. Beyond that, it's an empty illusion of prestige. 500 years of experience had taught him the truth behind this facade. Whether clan, sect, or demonic cult, be it this world or even Earth, every organization functions the same. They establish ranks, outline paths for promotion, and keep people striving upward from one level to the next. The desire for status leads people to think of themselves as better than others, filling them with an illusion of value. This concept of rank and status is like a carrot dangled before a mule, igniting desires and keeping the masses in line, always striving for more. Meanwhile, their efforts, their labor, are drained to fuel the ambitions of those above them. The class leader and deputy titles are merely the smallest of these carrots, luring these students deeper into the clan's hierarchy. And to prevent people from seeing through this facade, those in power create a unified value system, emphasizing honor, merit, and loyalty, wielding religion or tradition to control minds. That's the reality. Yet so many in this world remain oblivious, blindly serving the interests of others. At its core, every organization boils down to one thing: resource distribution. The higher your rank, the more resources you control. In his previous life, Fang Yuan had established the Bloodwings demonic sect in the central continent, attracting tens of thousands of followers. By establishing ranks and providing corresponding rewards, he'd mobilized countless individuals to follow his commands. Having orchestrated this himself, he understood the underlying principles all too well. So every organization is a mere symbol. Its true root lies in one word: resources. Without resources, you'll starve. Without them, you'll wither. Without resources to cultivate, you'll be weak. And sooner or later, you'll be trampled underfoot. And in the world of GU masters, primeval stones are the ultimate resource. Fang Yuan thought, his gaze turning steely. By now, most of the students had left the academy, moving in clusters toward the gate, where they soon spotted Fang Yuan standing squarely in the middle of the entrance. There's Fang Yuan. What's he doing? Blocking the gate? HMPH. I can't stand him. Just ignore him. He's probably waiting for someone. But as they approached, Fang Yuan didn't step aside. Instead, he held up a hand and spoke calmly. Hand over one primeval stone each, and you can pass.